Good morning, sir. Here I am today to discuss about the parts of pistol and revolver and the advantage and disadvantage. So first is a pistol. A pistol is a gun that is designed to be operated by one hand. Another name for pistol is a handgun. Parts of the pistol. First is magazine release. Magazine release, it is a button or paddle style lever that when depressed, it releases the magazine from the weapon. Next is magazine. A magazine is the ammunition storage and feeding device of a firearm within or attached to a repeating firearm. Next is grip. Grip, it held by the hand that operates the trigger. Next is safety. Is a mechanism used to help prevent the accidental discharge of a firearm, helping to ensure safe handling. Next is hammer. Hammer, it is used to strike the percussions, cap, prime, or a separate firing pin to ignite the propellant and fire the projectile. Next is rear sight. Rear sight is used to align the weapon with the front sight and direct the muzzle of the gun towards the target. Next is slide stop. Sometimes referred to as a slide lock or slide release on a semi-authorized handgun by pulling back the slide or depressing slide lock to advance the first of a new magazine. Next is barrel. Barrel is linked to a receiver which houses the operable parts of firearm, including a magazine which holds the ammunition. Next is a front sight. Front sight used to align the forward section of the weapon with the rear. Its rear sighting device. Next is slide. Slide is spring loaded to a chamber fresh cartridge provided that the magazine is not empty. Next is disassembly lever. It is pivotably mounted to the firearm and engageable with the slide. Last is a trigger. A trigger is the mechanism that actuates the firing sequence of the firearm. Now let's move to the advantage and disadvantage of the pistol. First is the advantage. The advantage of a pistol are smaller, lighter, easier to conceal, faster to bring to bear, and sometimes may have more safety features than the other firearms. Generally, being an emergency self-defense weapon for use under 25 meters, a handgun bullet neither has the energy of not the accuracy of a bullet shoot from a rifle. So, ang naka-advantage sa pistol is gamay na siya sa uban nga mga pusil. In case of emergency, sayon na bitar yung maholbot kay pwede raw niyo siya iluklok din sa kilid. So, in kasog na emergency para self-defense, diretso rin mo siya hulbot sa imong kilid, dig pusil. So, una naka-advantage sa pistol. So, next is the disadvantage of pistol. The disadvantage of pistol is a pistol have a few disadvantage compared to revolver. They are more complicated and have more moving parts. A pistol may use heavier spring that younger and elderly shooter may find difficult to use. Modern pistol usually only fire one shot every time you pull the trigger. So, mo pa naka-disadvantage sa pistol kay taga tira nimo is sa isa ka kablit mo sa trigger is isa ra siya kabuto dig another cock na po dig kamo na siya naka-advantage disadvantage sa pistol. Now let's move to a revolver. A revolver is a specific type of pistol that carries its round and a revolving cylinder which lines up with the barrel to be fired. So let's move to the part of the revolver. So first is a trigger. A trigger is a mechanism that actuates the firing sequence of the firearm. Next is trigger guard. A trigger guard is a protective loop surrounding the trigger of firearm which may cause an accidental discharge. Next is a grip. It hold by the hand that operates the trigger. Simra na siya sa pistol. Next is backstrap. Backstrap allows the users to change the circumference of the grip to fit their individual hand size. Next is a cylinder release. A cylinder release will unlock and swing out to the left of the firearm. Next is a hammer. A hammer is used to strike the percussion cap, primer, or a separate firing pin to ignite the propellant and fire the projectile. Next is a rear sight. So ang rear sight is used to align the weapon with the front sight and direct the muzzle of the gun towards the target. Next is a cylinder. The cylinder is a cylindrical rotating part of a revolver that contains multiple cartridge chamber. Next is a barrel. A barrel is the metal tube that the bullets travel the gun. Next is a front sight. A front sight used to align the forward section of the weapon with the rear. Rear sighting device. Next is a muzzle. A muzzle, it helps control the recoil and the rising of the barrel that normally occur the firing. Last is ejector rod. Ejector rod is used to eject fired cartridge cases from the cylinder. Now let's move to the advantage and disadvantage of revolver. So first is the advantage. First is malfunction. Malfunction almost not existent. Second is practice. Operates without ammunition, making dry fire useful. Next, concealed carry. Revolver is easier to conceal and more stable to carry on your body. Next is economical. Lower initial cost plus no cost for magazine. So wala may magazine ang revolver. Next is tactical. Resistant to induce failures. Next is the disadvantage of a revolver. First is reliability. Well-maintained revolver will rarely malfunction. Firing and reloading. With its long double action trigger stroke, the double action concealed carry revolver is probably the most difficult handgun to learn to shoot accurately. So that's all about pistol and revolver. So thank you and God bless.